Alright, now you're going to tell me what you really saw last night. Whoa, you're really upset, aren't you, Edgy? Okay, I'll talk. Huh? That was a bit too easy. Yeah, anyway. But it was awesome. Never seen anything like it. But around 10 o'clock last night, it started thundering. I'd been sleeping, I'm not sure for how long. But suddenly, zing! The world in front of me went white. Like I'd just been slapped in the face by my old girlfriend, Naomi. And then it was on fire. The bridge was on fire. Dusky Bridge caught fire. Are you saying you saw it with your own eyes? Hey, why are you giving me that evil eye? I'm telling you the truth. There's still 3 psycho locks remaining. That means he's still trying to hide something. By the way, Larry, where were you when you saw that happen? Where you say? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Answer the question. I was in my room, by the main hall. Where else would I be? As usual, you're as transparent as an empty jelly jar. The problem, I suspect, lies there. There? What do you mean, there? It's impossible for you to have seen lightning strike Dusky Bridge from your room. Where's the map? Yeah, there's a bunch of trees in the way. Take that! Take that? This is a map of the area. Take a look around the vicinity of Hazakura Temple. What am I looking for? I think that should be fairly obvious. The main hall's surrounded by trees and it's impossible to see the bridge from there. What? Why didn't you tell me before? Well, how about it? How about what? Do you feel like talking now? About what? Looks like it won't be easy after all. You leave me no choice, I'll have to move on to the next step. You weren't in your room at the temple, so then where were you? You don't know that I wasn't in my room? So where was Larry and why was he there? If I've read up the situation to this point correctly, the answer to that is fairly obvious. Very well, then let's test my theory. The place you witnessed lightning strike Dusky Bridge was from here. Heavenly Hall. The place you saw the lightning strike from was naturally Heavenly Hall. Why would I be hanging out in this old shack? It's freezing cold, there's no electricity. It could fall apart at any minute. Larry, how do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet. Uh-oh. In other words, you have just provided evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you've at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset. I have to admit it, I'm impressed, Edgy. You're in a totally different league from Neg. That's nice, now tell me. What were you doing at the cold little shack last night? That's what you might call a fair decor? What? I think you mean a fair decor. Could it be you were waiting for someone? Oh no. You really are one scary guy, you know? I believe that last night you were wishing for this person to come meet you. You were wishing for Iris to come, because you were really desperate. There's only one person you'd wait for in a horrible place like this, Larry. I told you before, don't call me Larry. It's Loris. The person you were waiting for was Iris. Oh, suddenly I feel cold all over, Edgy. No doubt because of my chilly glare. So you think I got the hots for Sister Iris, huh? Do you have some kind of evidence? You got something that proves I was waiting for? Or are you just guessing? This is where I draw the line and end this ridiculous game. Here's the evidence that you were waiting for Iris. This note. Take that! Here's your evidence. You called for this spot with a pathetic blackmail letter. Oh, hey, give me that. That's embarrassing. You're embarrassing me. What are you doing with that anyway? That's not important. I misjudged you, Larry. What do you mean? Taking advantage of a woman's frailty like that. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh. First of all, what's with this at the top of the letter? It says salutation here. Well, that's what it's in that book. Letter writing for dummy. Ugh. You're not supposed to actually write that. That's where you're supposed to write to Dear Iris. Oh, I'm so sorry. So you were in Heavenly Hall last night, were you not, Larry? And you saw the lightning hit Dusky Bridge, didn't you? I'm sorry, Edgy. Sorry doesn't cut it, you scumbag, threatening a young lady like that. Oh. Wait, hold up. What now, pal? What are you talking about? What threatening stuff? I'll tell you what, you tried to scare Iris by threatening to expose her secret, pal. What do you mean threaten? When did I threaten her? Unless you want your secret to be exposed. That sure sounds like a threat to me, pal. Blackmail, in fact. Give me a break, it's a love letter. Haven't you ever been in love? That's not what you... What? What did you just say? My love for her burned so hotly I could melt all the snow on this mountain. Oh, then what is the secret you mentioned? Come on, Edgy. Don't you get it? I'm talking about the secret love between her and me. Obviously, she wouldn't want an old lady bikini to know about it, right? About our hot and sour bittersweet love affair. Alright, then why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? Give me a break, it's not my fault I didn't have any other letters, yeesh. Then why were you so quick to apologize, pal? It's because Edgy gave me that scary look of his. What's wrong, Edgy? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? That's it. That's all those huge locks were about. I don't understand why you were so defensive. Well, I don't know either. I guess the thing is, you shouldn't expect too much from a guy like me. Hey, come on, don't let it get you down. But Mr. Edgeworth, this guy's still hiding something, I know it. What do you mean, detective? Don't forget about what this guy just said a minute ago. If you really want to know, last night, I saw something incredible. He's right. Larry. What? You're looking at me like a hungry dog that just found a bone. Yeah, the incredible thing's the lightning strike, probably. What was that something incredible you saw last night? You're going to tell me, Larry, one way or another. I already told you, didn't I? I saw lightning strike Dusky Bridge. Yes, I believe it was the incredible sight you saw. But now that I think about it, something doesn't quite ring true. What doesn't? If that's all there is to your story, your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Yes, Larry. I believe you saw something last night, something more incredible than lightning. What? When? Where? Why? How? Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you hide something from Mr. Edgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal. How many this time? 5. No! What's wrong, sir? I have to keep talking to him. Does this mean I have to do it all over again? Why are you glaring at me like I'm next to be hit by a bolt of lightning? I've just about had it with this Harlequin. If I really want to drag the truth out of him, I'll just have to drag him to the witness stand. Defendant lobby number 1. Oh, Mr. Loris feels that way about me. Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. Huh. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not, and in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Loris is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time, one last thing. It really wasn't, one last time, fuck. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed, don't worry. I've taken the necessary steps. You have? Iris. It is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people and to believe until the bitter end. That's what a friend of mine told me once. Mr. Edgeworth. You may pass judgment on me from the defendant's chair. You are the one to decide. Whether or not I am able to do the task I have been entrusted. Whether or not I am able to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready, let's get on. The defense doesn't appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said to the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such blatant waste of the court's time. The empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. No, they would have dropped the case and not brought charges. It would seem that this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. Thank you. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
Hey, Von Karma. The prosecution stands ready. And you are? Franziska Von Karma, prosecuting prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred Von Karma? Legends are a thing of the past. I am Von Karma. That is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case. You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, sir, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma, do you have anything to say? There's no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office. There isn't, but I'm sure once before in this courtroom. I told you there is no such weakling. What is that, a whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. Bailiff, remove that whip at...
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth, and that is what I stand here to prove today. This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I'd expected to face Phoenix right here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. Bring it. I see you brought your flair for the Okay. That's nice. Allow me to add the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court. The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma. Please give an outline of this case, with as little whipping as possible. The victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise, whatever her last name is. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well, the court accepts this photo of the crime scene. Thank you. There is no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there's a witness to her crime. Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. I want to see this crime photo, though. Okay. Because there's probably going to be something that's odd. I don't know what it is yet, but something's odd about it. And so it begins. My first and my last trial as a defense attorney. Oh my god. Witness, state your name and occupation, please. Hold on here. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up and nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for the witness with bad backs. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please. Once again, name and occupation. Little old me, well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it, Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their heart should leave the sanctuary at once. You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in summer. I can imagine that. In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place at night in question. That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do something like that. Let's hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? Night of the murder. Last night I was helping an acolyte with the training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back stacked up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it. So it was a simple coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple. Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple. That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made. There's only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Miss Miles Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. That night I was helping an acolyte. Hold it. What is this inner temple? Well, see, the conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right? We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam. In order to do that, a place strong in spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across Dusky Bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training. And how exactly do you help with the process? is quite exacting. It can't be performed without an unsupervising. Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies. A tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place? Well, as you can see, my back leg stacked up violently.
Hold it!
Violently? That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training. On the night of the murder, was the fabulous back of yours hurting again? That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen, I almost fainted once or twice. I just knew that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. You're absolutely ridiculous. But see, the thing is, if Iris was at the temple, and, you know, someone has to stay there or whatever, then there's literally nothing that she could have done. You left Iris to help with what? What do you think? The Acolyte's training, of course. It was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercise proper. Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple? Well, the job is simply to watch over the Acolyte so that they don't pass away. Just to confirm this point again that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct? Yes, she's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. Then why would she leave?
Hold it!
So you returned to the Hazakura Temple in order to take a bath? My back is to blame for everything. It's a do or be done in the kind of world, after all. How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking? My, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. You don't. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? This is why you have to watch the young ones. What are you going on about? I was... Pathetic, Miles Edgeworth. The lowest of the low. Is there some sort of kick-me sign stuck to the defense's bench? Anyway, I cannot afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... It was after I finished, though, headed back.
Hold it!
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct? When you go from my room to the main room, you have to take a winding path hallway from which you can see the courtyard. That's right, in other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case. That certainly seems to be the truth. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are. Let's present this. Because she talked about... Fuck. You know what I didn't fucking do? Well then, why don't you try testing this penalty too? You know what I didn't fucking do? I was gonna try to prove that it wasn't Iris because she wasn't wearing her hood. But what I probably should do is her testimony that says, I didn't go there. You know, that would probably be fucking helpful. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on the powers of the observation and memory, after all. Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. Well, one of faith, after all, the head honcho of the Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something to me. Because I bet she didn't see, or that she saw someone who wasn't Iris, who had everything on, and she just assumed it was Iris. And it's gonna be Dahlia, because she looks the same. She probably dyed her hair. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No, she said that.
A defendant or a witness? Who's more likely to lie, do you suppose? It depends. The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make a much better alibi. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have the honest eyes. All people lie, that is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means, we must call your memory into question. Dear. You're older than me, and yet you want to play the game, do you? Well, that isn't exactly what I... My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Now, I suppose it's too early to send this cross-examination, eh? To end this cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the witness of this memory, you'll need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick. Please add your comments about Iris to the testimony, and then let us return to the cross-examination.